Hi there, it's Lukasz for the Tech Travel Geeks, and this is a sample video of the Xiaomi 12T Pro, a recent smartphone from Xiaomi with their high-end 200 megapixel camera, a first in any of the Xiaomi cameras if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going around here in Edinburgh on this very overcast and rainy, unfortunately, day. Checking out the camera. I'm filming right now on the front-facing camera. It's maximum, it's 1080p, up to 60 frames per second, which is good. But there's no 4K recording on the front-facing camera, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. But unfortunately, that's the case with most Xiaomi devices. But you can see the video quality in here. I have to hold my hand quite far away, so it's not super comfortable, but the image quality is quite good. The dynamic range is alright. As I said, the day is very overcast, so at least no problem with too much sunshine, but yeah, the camera quality is good. There's no major shaking from what I can see. I've had cameras in the past which were very difficult to hold the camera, and in this one I'm quite happy. So other than the lack of 4K, no complaints from me. But let's check the other cameras. So this is the main camera, the 200 megapixel Samsung camera, and I'm filming in 4K 30 frames per second. There is also a possibility of 4K 60, but since I'm exporting in 24 frames per second, there's no point in me filming in 60 since you won't see it anyway. 60 frames per second is useful when you want to film some slow motion in 4K, so that's something I could show you if I get any good shots. But yeah, I'm filming in 4K 30. The image stabilization is the default one. The quality is quite good. When filming, I can see a bit of a stutter or shake, but I hope it works all right. I'm just on a bike ride from my place to this old stables, like ruins, and it's starting to rain, so the weather isn't ideal here in Scotland, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's walk a bit to show you some local graffiti and see what the image stabilization is when walking. So I'm not using any stabilizers, any gimbals right now, just walking straight, holding my phone with two hands, and you can see some lovely Scottish autumn. That's what it looks like. Let's see what the focus is when I zoom in on those plants in here. Yeah, so it's nice and blurry background because it's a 200 megapixel lens with a very large sensor. The quality and the background blur is really good, so no complaints in here. Really good job, Xiaomi. Let's walk back. In case you thought we were in Australia. So yeah, that's the quality from the main lens, 4K 30 frames per second. Here's my bike. Alright, so we are filming in 8K 24 frames per second, that's the maximum. And just to show you what it looks like, obviously I will not export this video to 8K because most of it will not be in 8K. But what I'll do is I will zoom in to 100%, which is double the zoom. So you'll be able to see, to 200%. So you'll be able to see what it looks like in 4K with just the digital zoom to see what the video quality is. By the way, I'm not using any audio microphone, so this is the audio you can hear. There's quite a bit of wind Let's try and catch that bird as well. I'll try and zoom in, see if we can see it. Yeah, so I'm not using any microphone, so you're hearing the audio quality from the phone. There is some wind, but it's not too bad, I hope, and there's some sounds from around me. But yeah, that's the 8K capabilities. What I would use this for normally is if I want to zoom in, so I wouldn't really use it for normal 8K. But for example, when I play the guitar, I might be able to film on a tripod without moving the camera, and I'd be able to crop the screen and have two shots in one. So I'll show you what this would look like in the background. But let's test the ultra-wide camera right now. Unfortunately, the bad news here is that there's no 4K ultra-wide recording in here because the camera is just 8 megapixels, which is under the normal 4K resolution. So Xiaomi were not able to provide us with 4K ultra-wide, which is a bit of a shame. I really enjoy recording in ultra-wide on my Pixels and other devices. But in here we only have 1080p resolution. So this is what the quality looks like. And the dynamic range. Let's do a bit of walking to see what the image stabilization is, because there's no image stabilization on this lens. But usually on ultra-wide lenses you have better stabilization because there's no, it's quite further in the distance, so there's less shake. Alright, let us know in the comments below what you thought of the image stabilization. It's not too bad. Let's try and zoom in on those plants again. You can see there's much less background blur compared to 200 megapixel main lens. There is, yeah, no bokeh blurriness. The dynamic range is alright. It's not very sunny, obviously, in here. But yeah, this is the 1080p recording. Let us know what you think. Unfortunately, there is no zoom lens in here, so the only extra lens we get is the macro lens, and as you can see, it's not the best. It's up to 720p, so it's not ideal, but it's always something, I guess. One thing I haven't mentioned is that there's also additional electronic image stabilization on the Xiaomi 12T Pro, which allows you to have better image stabilization. So this is what it looks like with electronic image stabilization enabled. You can see me walking here in the forest in Edinburgh. It's lovely autumn leaves, unfortunately with a bit of rain. And coming back, I'll disable it. So now I'm walking back, and the electronic image stabilization has been disabled, so you can see if the image is much more shaky or not. I don't believe it will be, because there's optical image stabilization on the 12T Pro. So yeah, this is the comparison of with and without. Unfortunately, there is no telephoto lens. There is a squirrel in front of me, but the digital image zoom can go up to 6 times, but it's not great, so I can barely see the squirrel. Let's see. Oh. we go. Yeah. Unfortunately, with no optical zoom, the quality is not great. And here's what Edinburgh looks like on a sunnier day. We are near the Edinburgh Castle and it's much nicer outside today. And I'm showing 4K in 30 frames per second with the main lens, the 200 megapixel lens. And this is the quality and the dynamic range of this phone. I think it looks quite good. And here's the selfie camera on a sunnier day. You can see the dynamic range. You can see that some of the clouds are not visible due to the lack of dynamic range, but overall it's quite good. The background is actually a bit blurry, which looks, I think, quite well. And yeah, we're in 1080p 30 frames per second, exported to 4K. And here's a quick visit to the, I guess, Lion King set, but when the lion was on top of a car on a safari here in Edinburgh. I don't know what's happening here, but it's quite interesting. And when I'm filming this, I can see focus on the lion, so it's quite good to see. So it looks like it detects those characters and it puts a frame around them so you can see where the focus is, which is quite impressive. It's like on the new Sony cameras, which have animal detection. It doesn't recognize all of them. For some of them it does put a, like here, rectangle around them, which is quite impressive, I have to say. Make sure that this is in focus. Let's see if it catches the doggo behind. No, but still good. So that's it when it comes to video capabilities of the Xiaomi 12T Pro. Let us know in the comments below what you think. In my opinion, the main camera is quite good. The fact that it provides good 4K image up to 4K 60, that's really good. It does up to 8K, which is even better, but I wouldn't use it too much personally. Unfortunately, the lack of 4K ultrawide, lack of telephoto, and lack of 4K in front-facing camera, like we're watching now in Full HD. Those are the downsides of this phone. So if you're looking for the highest quality capabilities of video camera, this might not be it, and I would probably go with something like a Pixel 7 Pro, which is now my favorite when it comes to video, or what Matteo is reviewing, the Honor Magic 4 Pro, or some other cameras, or an iPhone, which are actually quite great when it comes to video. But if you just want decent video quality, really good 4K video, and from the main camera, and you are all about the phone performance and ultra fast charging at 120 watt, then you can definitely consider the Xiaomi 12T Pro. That's it for this sample video. Let us know in the comments below what you think. We will follow this up with a review of this phone. Unfortunately, we have it for a very short time, but we're doing what we can during that time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks if you don't already, and thanks for watching.